elements, unfortunately, because I'm using my phone. What we're ended up doing is we have our Doomslayer helmet. You can kind of see that in the light there. We ended up painting some different colors on this with the Army Painter, and then we used gunmetal on those, on the silver parts, which turned out pretty good. And now we're gonna try. I don't know if we'll do it, but we're gonna try to do some highlights on here because this has just got so much green, and we need to do some highlights. Now, unfortunately, I don't have like a triad color green like we would see with like Army Painter. You know, you got 3 colors, dark, lighter, and then lightest, and be able to do that. So we're kind of left up with, I can either do this, so I can take these couple of colors, the Vallejo, basic green and basic yellow, I can mix those, or I can also, I do have the airbrush paints from Army Painter. So I'll just take you over here. There's the K2 Plus, the rest of the apartment, and then the room. And what we can end up doing is, let's see, we got some Pharaoh green, that might work. Oh, and other green, Savage, that's almost like what we painted by combining the 2 other colors. And then we've got like a green skin, which is a little kind of lighter, sort of. And stay. And then we've got some demonic yellow, and then we also have, it's like imp yellow. So let's just take all of these, and we will shake these up on the way over there. So there is we got a bunch of different, so we got all these characters here, and some of these turned out really good. We had some really good ones going on. This guy turned out really good. The dragon was good. Cave troll, this guy turned out awesome. That was like 99 speed paints. We did the Hulk back there, and the Hulk was actually, the majority of him was airbrushed. So we did some shading on that, and that turned out good. And then over here, you can see we've got our Mandalorian. That one turned out awesome. And then this guy he turned out really well. And then of course we have, you know, the little Warhammer guys that I ended up painting that came out pretty well. So you can see them. And then of course we got a bunch of stuff that we still need to paint, but here's some more. There's some more of what we ended up painting. And then I kind of made a diorama, which is that you can stack on top of each other. I've modified that because I didn't like the little nubs that were on there. That was actually somebody else's. So we reappropriated that and took that idea around with it. And then we got a bunch of other characters here that need painting. Again, more pile of shame, pile of shame, pile of shame, and another pile of shame. So, but we got some good ones here. So we're just going to continue on. Like I said, that's the K2 Plus. That's our Saturn III Ultra. This is our build station. That's that Doom Eternal Slayer helmet that I printed up that I've been putting on some wood filler. We'll see how that works out. I don't know. It'll be what it'll be. And then we're right back to where we started from. I apologize for the compressor if it starts, but it is what it is. So what we want to end up doing is we want to have a little bit of a lighter, a green with a little bit of yellow in there. And what we can end up doing is we could go with imp. So we've got imp, feral green, demonic yellow, and green skin. I think what we can end up doing, because the green skin is pretty close to what we have there, so we will put the Vallejo away. I think we'll try a little bit of green skin, and then we'll do imp yellow, and then we can come back with the demonic yellow and try to do a little bit of highlights. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, well, then we can always just paint over it and start again. So, okay, we got that. Just gonna put a little bit of airbrush thinner in there, a couple drops. Kind of prime the pump a little bit, which we did. And then now, this is going to be interesting to see how this. I need to get like a regular cup to mix this stuff, because this is kind of big. You know what? I'm going to get an X-Acto knife and we'll just cut this real quick. So let me get one. Somewhere I have it. Where is it? Of course, when I so anyway, but we'll just gotta make do with this here. I've seen like the little steel cups or metal cups that they have people use for mixing up paints and then pouring it in. That's what I would like to do. So since these are airbrush paints, we don't need to thin them out. Everything should be good to go. And we will, I don't know, 8, we've got 8 drops in there. And then what we'll end up doing, we'll just get this little thing here as our stir. And we'll put like 1 drop of this imp yellow. As you can see there, we're gonna mix that up. It's not really, maybe I should have done this in the cup, because that is pretty thick. Maybe a little bit of thinner on there. Let's see how that goes. Do 3 drops of that and see what happens. See if we can thin this out a little bit. Sort of pour into the cup. So yeah, that could work. Still that's about the same color as what we had when we brush painted these. So we'll do another drop of this to try to get a it's getting a little bit lighter. We're going to need a little bit more than that. Do like a decent sized drop there. And now some type of I don't know. We'll see how this works. We shall see. So I didn't mix a lot of this, which I probably should have done more. Yeah. Because that's going to be really, really tiny. So I'm using our Parker and Steenbeck Ultra 2024. And let's see if we there we go. And let's see if we can get a little bit of that is going to be really minimal. Yeah, we already used that up. I think we're going to have to, let's mix it up into the cup here. And let's see. I'll do that. I'll try to get a lighter color because that's just too similar. Let's see how this works out. And again, we can always add a little bit of color. So that's almost the same, so let's add a little bit more. And hopefully that will be the color we want. And again, I'm no pro at this, so we're just kind of taking a stab in the dark and see how this is going to work out. We want to try to do some highlights on this is what we're doing. So yeah, a little bit lighter. Let's do a little test piece and we'll see. We might have to clean that up just a hair. Maybe base? Seriously? So let's see what we get. Just trying to get just right on that. just to try to get a little bit of highlight on there. Again, we're just getting, you can see some highlights that are starting to come in there. So. Really gumming up way more than usual. Just a bit too much. Not too bad. So you got a little bit of highlight on there. Kind of like where the light would come down and hit it. So yeah, I think we're doing pretty good there. We got a little bit of difference there. So we'll stick with that. And the other thing we could do is we could probably come in and, well, you know what? If I pour that back in there, I could try to add some of that demonic yellow where's it over here? And we could just get touches up on the top. So let's go ahead and give that a try. We're going to need a little bit more green. It's so much nicer to work off of something small because it's more manageable. It's less daunting as well. So we'll end up and we'll put a drop of this in there, maybe 2 drops. And you know what, let's throw in just a drop of thinner. And then we'll mix this up. And that comes out. It's definitely more yellow, that's for sure. Use this. So we can see how this goes. As I'm spilling paint all over the place. All for your enjoyment. So let's see, how does this look out? So that gives one a little bit more yellow. So we'll do 2 more drops. We'll see how this looks. So that should give us a pretty decent color, I think. I don't want to go too crazy with the highlights on here, but again, I'm not a professional at doing airbrushing because I'm still learning. I haven't done much. Like I said, I did the Hulk, and then, yeah. So let's see what this ends up looking like. That's a little bit, but it's not quite there yet. I wonder if we should throw in a little bit. Dare we? Put in another drop. Like I said, the worst thing, we'll put a couple more, we'll put 3 drops. The worst thing that happens is we go back and prime it and paint it all over again. So not too bad. Yeah, that's definitely lighter. So let's see how this goes. Yeah, it was really gummed up in there. I got the right PSI? Yeah, I do. Wow, that is just really It is just sticking there for some reason. I'm not sure why. Well, let's run with it and we'll see what happens. Really, really odd. Screwdriver, big time. Not too bad. We didn't screw it up too much. I'm just screwing this up big time, huh? I think we're going to call that good. Obviously, I need to do some big cleaning on this. So I thought I had it cleaned really good last time I used it, but it's acting all funky now. So see how that goes. So I'll have to go through and clean this baby up real well. But we got some highlights on there.